It's tuning me right now, too.
Yeah, James is all tuned up.
I'm about as colorful as this cup.
Yeah, tuner nailed it. Hey guys, Richard Holden here. BARDSTOWN bourbon brought by some shine. Yeah, she's looking good. Let's see what she's got. All right, Brian, you're up first.
All right.
Yeah, a little something. Here we go. Gentlemen. James. Brandon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's see what
Don't
they
be
got to
cheating
offer.
now. Don't be cheating, everybody.
BARDSTOWN bourbon. Cheers.
Cheers.
See, I told you.
She's got a little zing to her.
Not too bad.
So we're dyno testing. Here's the question. What do you guys think? Tastes pretty good. Will the motor run on it? Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
Let's find out. Brandon, watch that breather.
Let's turn that stuff back off then, because that's noisy.
So who's going to be pouring it in?
Brian,
Brian.
pour that stuff in.
Pour the jar in, I guess, or
Yeah, well, we're gonna show them where the big container is. I mean, it's not our first time. Not my first rodeo. Okay, so this stuff came in these big 5-gallon, the blue, aka the blue jug.
number 1, number 2.
Yeah, the deuce. All right. Yeah. Fuel tank for the dyno. A little bit of shine in there. Let's see what she does. Are you just transferring it from one thing to the other?
Yeah, he's pumping out of the moonshine jug into the tank.
Blue jug.
Starts.
Yeah, tuner nailed it. Tuner James. AKA Big Shot.
All the fans.
The pumps are still on?
Yep. Pumps are
Sweet.
on. Our barrel's off, but whatever. Like grip.
Tuner, guys. So, the first awesome thing is that has moonshine in it. It's a 5.3 and it's started right up.
Right?
Moonshine for the win.
Wideband still reads.
Yeah, check this out.
That is cool.
BARDSTOWN bourbon. Oh, and take a look at this. It has the moonshine correction.
This is the table.
Yeah.
Where's the 100%? Where's this 100% on the?
Right down there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That thing uses, and here,
100%.
flex fuel sensor, pegged at 100. What's up? Recognize.
Alright. It's a little bit cold, but I think it'll be alright. Let's get down to business.
Getting all sassy now. Yeah, wide open throttle. Yeah, moonshine in the house. BARDSTOWN bourbon makes some good race fuel.
That's right.
Zoom in here. One take Charlie. What's up? Over 400 horsepower. 386 foot-pounds. Now, James is going to throw the tune at her.
Right. Get a little bit more heat in her. Might make a little more.
Yeah, let's see what she does.
I feel like you see it. Yeah, your ears are that one.
You see that unicorn just ran by?
That's what they call it. White lightning, right?
Brian's fan. Exhaust fumes, Brian? Exhaust fumes?
Red Solo Cup. I lift you up.
I'm going solo.
You say I F you up?
Yeah. All right, we're going for it.
All right, big power, big power. James Short throwing the tune on it. Couple more?
I think that's about where we were.
410. What was the last run?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, dang.
That was 418 at some point, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's a tune in the shine, what we call a tune shine.
It's tuning me right now, too.
Yeah. James is all tuned up.
I'm about as colorful as this cup.
All right, let's go in and take a look at the motor. I'll tell you guys a little bit about what's going on with that and show you how cool a 5.3. Was this thing originally a Junkyard motor?
Nope.
As all the best ones are. Let's go check it out. Okay guys, we got a 5.3 here. This thing was originally from a Junkyard. This is a Gen 4 motor. It was originally a VVT motor, which is kind of cool for a 5.3. It also was factory equipped with a set of 243 heads, you know, the LS6 heads, which is awesome. It's got kind of a flat top piston. They have two exhaust valve reliefs in it for the VVT stuff. You can see the way they run on the dyno. This is nice. Two-piece front cover with kind of external water pump, so it makes for easy cam swaps. They've even got the dampener notch, which is super cool, so that the camshaft will slide out for easy cam swaps. This is awesome. We got a Trailblazer SS or late model intake manifold. It's a little better than the truck. This thing right now has 105 millimeter throttle body. They got a little adapter because that's actually a little bit bigger than the opening that's on the throttle body. Got a set of long tube headers. Naturally, it has a Brian Tooley racing camshaft in it. Some one thing we did have to do is put some larger injectors in it because this thing, to run the Moonshine in this motor, required a lot of fuel flow. So, hey, James, what size are these injectors? 1050s? Okay, and what? Here, this would be a good question.
Yeah.
So, James, what were these 1050s?
1050cc as new.
And then where are we on the duty cycle?
Right at 70%.
70% duty cycle on that size injector. So what's the brake specific on this thing?
1.32.
Yeah, making that good fuel mileage. Let's go back in here. See, they've got a cool air intake for their dyno. Goes up, actually grabs air from inside the room there. Obviously the exhaust is exiting out. Got some BOURBON mufflers. Exhaust pipe going from the headers. This is kind of a cool set. It's nice because it's got we got 802s, also 8 EGTs, so we can monitor that. And the awesome thing is we ran this thing with E85 first, and then installed the shine. Thanks again for the guys BARDSTOWN Bourbon. We ran it with the Moonshine, and the exhaust temperatures went down. And the reason that they went down is because the Moonshine also has water in it. It's 155 or 156 proof, so obviously the rest of it is water. So this thing is getting water injection while it's running the Moonshine, which is kind of cool. It makes a little bit less power than the E85 did because of that, obviously. But the awesome thing is this thing ran on Moonshine. Here's our flex fuel sensor down here, actually monitoring the Moonshine. Going into the fuel line, fuel pressure regulator. Got our map sensor up top. Lots of cool stuff. Good little 5.3. We did a whole bunch of testing on this beforehand with different cylinder heads and all kinds of different camshafts. Lots of cool stuff. But the most awesome thing, yeah, run an LS motor on Moonshine. Here's a comparison between the power output with this mild 5.3 liter run on Moonshine, interestingly enough, and E85. Now, actually, the E85 made more power. It's a fuel. It's designed to do that, and the Moonshine is designed for something else. But with E85, this combination produced 441 horsepower and 398.6 foot-pounds of torque. The power was down with the Moonshine to 414 horsepower. Torque wasn't down dramatically. It was at 392 foot-pounds of torque. But I'm not disappointed that the thing was down on power with the Moonshine. In fact, I'm just excited by the fact that it even ran at all. I mean, it's awesome for us to be able to put that in there and run it. So what do you guys think? I mean, back in the day, guys were talking about the Moonshine runners running their cars on this Moonshine, and we know it's possible, although given the amount of extra fuel that we had to add, which was dramatic, if they had carburetor combinations, they would certainly have to jet that carburetor up to get the things to work on Moonshine, but it will work on Moonshine. Okay, guys, so what do we learn from running silliest thing ever, running an LS motor on Moonshine? I mean,
it loses way more power than I would have thought.
Really?
compared to the E85?
Yes.
You think you're surprised?
Yeah, I mean, how much did it lose? 30 horsepower?
Well, how far were we down?
Yeah, right at 30.
Okay. So, and I'll show you guys a video of that so you guys can see the change in power from running E85 compared to running Moonshine. But the thing that I have to say is that, first of all, we ran Moonshine in an engine, which is like nothing but awesome.
That's cool.
In the bourbon capital of the world.
Yeah, I know. And those guys from BARDSTOWN Bourbon are awesome. They came over and watched it, and they were just like giddy. It was awesome. But the cool thing is that, and like I said, we ran it on Moonshine. And the fact that the cool thing is that, like, you put it in there, and the flex fuel sensor worked. The Haltech obviously adjusted. The air fuel was, you know, all nice. You had to work a little bit of your magic.
A little custom table there. But
the interesting thing is how much fuel, like, it took to make that power.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a lot more than E85.
Oh my gosh. It's unbelievable. I mean, the whole thing just kind of blows my mind.
Well, because I mean, it's the last 10 or 12% that's not alcohol is water.
Yeah.
So not only are you backing that out, but you're having to support the other whatever E85, 25% of fuel that's not there anymore.
That
So
volume still has to go through the injector, even though it's not an actual fuel source.
Yeah. And we saw that in the EGTs too, because the EGTs were down with
like 30, 35.
Yeah,
degrees,
they were down compared to the E85. So that water was obviously kind of doing its job. And really, who wants water with their Moonshine?
What a waste.
Right.
But again, the coolest thing is that we ran the motor on Moonshine, which is awesome, because I honestly, when we were first talking about this, I'm like, we've tried to do things with alcohol before. Like, we know that if you just try to do things with vodka other than obviously drink them, but you can't blow fire with it and you can't do fun things with it. But when you step up to things like Bacardi 151 or obviously the real Moonshine, that kind of stuff, that stuff is very volatile and flammable, and you can obviously probably make stuff work with that. So I was real curious about this to see whether it was even possible.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, I cannot believe how well it worked. I mean, pour it in there, it like goes in the motor. The motor's like, hey, I'm a Junkyard motor. That thing is flammable, so I know right now that I want to ignite and make it work.
Well, I mean, what the video does, it shows you had the thing going in no time.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't take any time to get it started and tuned and idling, and I mean, it was nothing. It was no.
No, and I think part of that obviously is a little bit of preparation. Rather than going from like gasoline to this, you go from E85, which I think, I mean, don't you think it's like an intermediate step kind of between those two?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, honestly,
it's E70.
Way to sell it, Brian.
Yeah. E75 with the rest being water.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of anticipated it acting kind of like methanol too, because I knew it was going to be a really high volume, alcohol. So I knew it was going to have quite a bit more percentage of fuel consumption over 85. So.
And I like the fact that when the guys from BARDSTOWN Bourbon were here, that they were always like, they're also like, okay, now we need to try a different one.
190.
We need to try like 190, or we need to try 120, because they're all like, just like when somebody comes to a dyno, okay, we ran this camshaft, well, okay, well, now we got to try this other one, and we got to try this other one. So they're just like everybody else that comes here, except they want to do it with with Moonshine.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome. So, to finish up, we did get to run this thing on Moonshine. It worked like flawlessly, which is awesome. So, obviously, thanks to the guys at Brian Tooley Racing. Thanks to the guys at BARDSTOWN Bourbon. That was awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff, and we're going to keep testing.